Welcome back, pipe smokers from all over the world. My name is Brian. This is my channel, Pipe Currency. If you haven't already, you can find me on Instagram at pipe_currency. Everyone is welcome. You might remember, I've told this story a few times, when I returned to Canada after the war in Ukraine began, so that would have been early March 2022, I returned to Canada, and by autumn of that same year, I started buying pipes and pipe tobacco again, because I had left all my pipes and pipe tobacco behind in Ukraine. And I started watching YouTube videos again and watching reviews, and the two people I gravitated to the most were Smoking Pipeliner and Brian, aka Beans316. And he did a review in August of 2020 of Savinelli Dublone d'Oro. His tin had only 1 year on it, but he said, and I quote, "I think this blend will age fantastically." Well, for those that have been following me for some time, you might remember back in February of this year, I came to Kiev and I was reunited with my pipe tobacco seller that I had left behind when the war began. And I made a trade for a 7-year-old tin of Dublone d'Oro. And I cracked it open and did a first impression of it. And I quite liked it, but I threw it in, the rest of it in this jar, and it's been sitting in here for 6 months and I haven't touched it since then. So today I'm going to have a smoke. I've got my pipe loaded up already with some Savinelli Dublone d'Oro, and we're going to find out if Beans316 is correct and that this blend will have aged magnificently, or fantastically to use his word. Again, this has 7 years on it and it's been sitting in this jar since February, so it's had plenty of time to breathe. If this tobacco has a story to tell, we are going to find out. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this blend, first, I can't find my tin. I don't know what happened to it. Somewhere along the line, I lost it. But I'm going to read for you what it says on the smokingpipes.com website about this tobacco. I'll show you a picture of the cover of the tin because I'm a visual person, and then I'm going to light this up and tell you what I think of this tobacco. Now, here's what it says on the smokingpipes.com website. By the way, it gets a 3.7 out of 5 rating out of 63 reviews, which I think is a very respectable rating. And it says, recognized worldwide for their fine pipes, Italian Marquis Savinelli also offers a line of luxury tobacco blends, a blend of delightfully unique components combined in Savinelli's Dublone d'Oro for a distinctively alluring flavor profile. It features Virginias and Burley combined with dark-fired Kenyan tobacco and Perique, and aged before being cut into coins, offering a zesty, flavorful smoke. So it's Virginia Perique, dark fire, Kentucky Burley. It's in the Virginia family, and it is a coin cut, and I will show you it now. You can see really lovely coins here. Hopefully the light, not a lot of light in this room this time of day, but I'll show you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see it there. Let me see if I can get a coin separated here. You can see it. Really nice. Bean said it reminded him of, it's done by McBaron, and I think it looks a lot like a McBaron cut. It reminds him of Three Nuns or Stockton. And I would have to agree that this really does look like something very similar from Stockton or Three Nuns. The rest of it, although the rest of it's all busted up, as you can see, it's almost like a ribbon cut, these busted up coins, and the smell you get, it reminds me a little bit of Cornell & Deal's San Sepolcro. I had this recently when I was in Skopje, but that's what it smells like. It's got a little bit of, as Brian said, burnt brown sugar. And to me, it's a little bit like bread crust from like white bread. Okay, here, I'm going to show you the picture of the tin cover for those that have never seen this tobacco before. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So this is what the tobacco tin cover, that's exactly what mine looked like. That's exactly what Brian's looked like as well. Comes in a 100-gram tin, like so. So I'm going to light it up for you, and I'm going to tell you whether or not Brian, aka Beans316, is correct, and this will have aged fantastically. As most of you know, Brian's on a bit of a hiatus from his channel over the recent dramatic events that happened in the USA. He said he wanted a breather from social media, which I completely understand. I consider Brian this is just me personally, Brian Beans316. I think since the passing of Matches 860, to me, he's kind of the anchor now of the YTPC. Unofficial, of course. That may have been a title that Bradley from Stuff and Things might have claimed had he not sort of switched over to Patreon exclusively. But to me, I think Beans is the anchor of the community. Others may disagree, but that's how I see it. Of course, he would never say that himself. Seems like a really good family man, a modest guy, but that's how I regard Beans316. He's a terrific member of our YTPC. Now, let's see if he's correct. I'll tell you what he said, some of the flavor profiles he got, and whether or not I agree. Well, the first thing I get is black licorice, which is what he said too. He said black licorice and burnt brown sugar. Well, first, this tobacco comes out really dry. There's no drying time needed at all. You can just load it. And in fact, for you new pipe smokers, when a tobacco is really dry like this, you really want to pack it tightly. You don't want a lot of oxygen getting in there because then it's going to burn quickly. You're going to get a lot of tongue bite. So with a really dry tobacco, such as I've done, you want to pack it really tight. And then conversely, when it's wet, you want to pack it loose to let the oxygen in there. All right. See, what I get immediately is black licorice, which is not one of my favorites, but this is okay. Because it's not strong black licorice, but it's there. And I understand what he means by burnt black sugar. Burnt brown sugar. But what I get in this tobacco, and I got it in San Sepolcro too by Cornell and Dill, which I was not a big fan of the San Sepolcro drop that just came out. But I do really like this tobacco, this Dublone d'Oro. What I get is this. You know when you're a kid, your mom makes you sandwiches, or kids in your class, their moms made them sandwiches on white bread? And they get them and they get their mom to cut the crusts off, because the crusts on white bread and other breads too, but mostly on white bread, it's much more strong and bold in flavor, and it's a real departure from the flavor of white bread. And that's what I get in this. I get a white bread crust. I've always got that I got that from San Sepolcro, and I get that from this Savinelli Dublone d'Oro. Not unpleasant by any means. It's really quite a nice tobacco. So that dark-fired Canyon is really quite bold in this. Now, and you don't get it all the time, because the coins no two coins in these are the same. They're kind of like one will have more Virginia, the other one will have more dark-fired in it. Brian also said it reminded him of a cigar, or at least it had cigar leaf characteristics. And again, I would have to say I agree with him. I never had this when it was young. I only had this with age on it. I have to say it's a really terrific tobacco. It's, as I said, you got the burnt brown sugar, you got the black licorice, you have like a bread crust, and there's some spice there, but it's not overly spicy. But certainly there's spice. It's a really nice tobacco, really a pleasant smoke. He said once again it reminded him kind of a cross of Three Nuns and Stockton by McBaron, and I can see that. I like both of those tobaccos very much. It does have the characteristics of San Sepolcro, but this is much better than San Sepolcro. As I said, I was really quite disappointed with that tobacco. I know some people out there really like it. I just never connected with that. And I still have another tin of it. In Canada, I'm going to let it age for another 5, 6, 7 years, and then I'll return to it. And maybe me and San Sepolcro will get along. But I have to say, this really does hit the spot. Burns really well. I mean, I'm chooching on this. I think that's the word you guys use. I'm puffing on this pretty hard. There's no bite whatsoever. There's kind of like a little bit of rum. Like a spiced rum. That's what it's like. It's like a spiced rum in this. I'm not a fan. I'm not a rum drinker, especially spiced rum, but this is actually really quite pleasant. So to reiterate, black licorice, burnt brown sugar, that's what Bean said, and I agree with him on that. I get bread crust, and I get spiced rum. Really pleasant. Really nice smoke. I don't know if this is a beginner's tobacco. I think you'd want to be a little bit experienced. But really, it's really quite nice. He says it pairs well with coffee. I believe him. I've already had enough coffee today. Yeah, definitely cigar. If you told me there was a little bit of cigar leaf in this, I would believe it. Really bold, rich flavors. Very approachable. I think as I said, if you like Three Nuns, if you like McBaron Stockton, like Bean said, if you enjoyed San Sepolcro, I think you'll be spoiled with this. This is a far superior blend to San Sepolcro. Yeah, the cigar leaf, spiced rum, really nice. So, is Beans316 correct? Did this age fantastically? Well, I never had it when I was young, but if this is what it's supposed to be like when it's aged, it's really good. I would highly recommend this to you. I know these Savinellis come and go on, for example, smokingpipes.com quite, they can sell out pretty quick, but I think this one is not that difficult to procure. Yeah, it's really nice. I absolutely would recommend this to you. And I can see this being good. This would be really good with a glass of scotch. I think this is more of a scotch tobacco than it is a beer tobacco, but I think you could even have a dark beer with this because the flavors in this are so bold, it won't get overwhelmed. Really nice smoke. Highly recommend it to you. So Savinelli Dublone d'Oro. Beans316 is correct. Surprise, surprise. Hey, guys? Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying this content, please like, please subscribe. I'm going to start uploading. I'm going to try to upload every Wednesday and Saturdays for the next little while. So if you're enjoying this content, please like, comment, subscribe. Have you ever tried Dublone d'Oro? If so, please tell me in the comment section, okay? Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll talk to all of you very soon.